3, 2, 1. Hey guys, UKHHN with my Halloween Horror Nights 25 review now. It's been a week. I've been back from Orlando since I did Halloween Horror Nights 25 4 times. In total did about 49 houses if you want class, obviously doing each house numerous times, etc. So I was going to do a review when I was over in Orlando, but I thought it best to wait till I get back to the UK, gather my thoughts, go through and process what I actually seen, what I experienced, what I enjoyed, what I didn't enjoy. Also taking the fact that I did the Unmasking the Horror tour and taking the fact that there were certain little things that were told to me on the tour that kind of enhanced my experience about the backstories of the houses, which was actually, to be fair, this year was 100 times better than last year. Last year we did the tours and it didn't really give any kind of insight into anything of the houses really, anything that we didn't know. This year there was a lot of stuff that you probably wouldn't have seen just going through the houses. So bearing that in mind, I'm going to kind of input that into the review. Now, before we carry on, there will be spoilers. Unfortunately, I cannot do a review without the spoilers because I'm just going to talk about the houses and everything I experienced, etc. So, that being said, be a few things revealed. So, if you don't want to know anything, you haven't been to the event yet, turn it off. Search it back on once you've been to the event and see if you agree, disagree, etc. Got any kind of comments, that's fine. So, Halloween Horror Nights 25. Now, I'm not going to do a list of houses from the worst to the best. I'll just talk about each house individually, and then I will obviously just discuss and say which house I thought was good and which house I didn't think was great. So that being said, the first house is going to be Run. Now, Run was an house that I really wanted to enjoy before I went. Psyched for it, obviously the fact that they've done a mashup with two properties again, two original properties with Run and Elgate Prison. Now, the premise of the house, which for me just screamed Running Man, which we was told on the tour that the code name was Spandex for this maze, which obviously was the Running Man. Kind of had high hopes. I'd done this house, we're waiting through this house. The first time I walked out, kind of shaking my head. It wasn't anything like I expected it to be. It was too many dead rooms. That being said, I kind of got the gist of going from one country or zone with the Reapers into the next zone, but kind of the problem you have with it, with an haunted maze, if you want to call it that, or a maze, haunted house, haunted attraction, scare attraction, etc., is the scares start off and they get a little bit more frequent, and then as the maze goes on, the intensity of that maze should be hitting its peak in the final scene. It should be, usually you have like a crescendo and you'll have one epic scene at the end, which is usually a big scene, which Halloween Horror Nights is synonymous with. We've seen it so many times, and we see it so many times this year. And this house kind of was literally scare, safe room, scare, safe room, scare, safe room, scare, safe room. So you never kind of built upon the effect of the intensity. You never got to a point where you got scared kind of, or people were jumping out. And as soon as you stepped in the little hexagon room, which was kind of telling you you're going to be going to the next country, the intensity dropped because you knew no one was going to jump out. So it kind of dropped the level. And that kind of made it just didn't really go anywhere. It was like watching a movie really, which was stop-start. Like it gets going and it slows down, it gets going and it slows down, it gets going, slows down. And I thought the finale was really weak. I thought the candy room, someone can put it down below. I haven't even bothered to try and find out. Maybe that's bad on my part. But the candy room, I don't know what country that was supposed to be. Maybe someone got mixed up and thought Willy Wonka actually was from a country, but I don't know. It was also a dead room. It was just prison cells with a lot of candy in, and then two females at the end scaring you. But by that time, you'd gone through and it was like, it's over. I have been told now that there is two scare actors put on the floor, kind of to your left hand side. You're going where the holes are on the floor, and they're contestants that have been killed. So at least that they have added that to it. I didn't ever experience that, but I can clearly see why they put them in. So that's wrong. The other thing I will say is they had, what I believe they should have done is the facade and the Q video. The Q video you could not see in the daytime. The Q video as well, some people wouldn't have watched it or wouldn't have understood it. I think they should have done like with like in the Purge scare zone last year. They should have had someone on the facade, like a game show host, really kind of just improvising and like giving a bit of exposition dialogue about kind of talking about what the gaming show was. I think that would have added to it because it would have pumped up people and I'm going on a game show, because you never really felt like you was in a game show like the Running Man when you experienced the maze. Excuse me. I think the problem as well is the first scene should have been inside the game show, like the game show studio, like the Running Man when they put in that little kind of metal ball, and the part of him on seeing Running Man where he goes, "I'll see you next time. I'll be back," and he says, and the game show host says, "Only in a rerun, John." Something kind of like that would have been a little nod to what the house would have been, and people may have got it that it was a game show. It just kind of came across as it wasn't a game show, it was just an house with random people like gladiators trying to kill you. So that was like my little thing, what I thought they could have done, put someone over on the facade on the outside, kind of shouting about saying that you'll survive, maybe you've got a chance or you're going to die, etc. And also when you walked in where the Reapers were at the start, the sign that said run, I missed it the first time. It was only the second time going through that I noticed it, which was, it was cool. But and to be fair, I am doing this review based on the fact that I did this house, how many times was it? I did this house about, I think it was 7 times in 4 days. It may have been 8. On the last night I did it 3 times. I did 4 times on the final night, and I did it one after another. So yeah, I think it was 8 times I did this house. And I went through it on my own as well on the last day, and that did make the experience a lot better. But realistically, how many people go through an haunted attraction at Halloween Horror Nights on their own? Not many. I was fortunate to go through because they probably thought I was a bit of a freak just coming out of the scare zone and running straight back in the house and just keep going round and round. But hey, I was trying to get most of my last day there. So run, it was okay. I really wanted this house to succeed, but it kind of didn't. It fell on its face a little bit. A lot better than Havoc, I will say. It seems to be the problem at the minute with houses in that area. The best house I've experienced in that area was HR Blood and Guts, which I'm a bit peed off they didn't do a sequel or a prequel to HR Blood and Guts. Would have been cool, but oh well. Next house I will talk about is, I'll get this one out of the way, this was probably my worst house of the event, and it's quite a shock because it was top 2 years ago. American Wealth in London, I thought it was flat all the way through. Now, to bring back a maze 2 years after, well, it missed one event, it missed 2014, to bring it back so soon, it was still in it fresh in everyone's minds. It's not really a maze as well. It's renowned for its scares. It was renowned for the puppets. The puppets had changed and made them look a little bit fake. Realistic thing with the puppets is we had them last year. Aliens vs Predator. They don't come off the wall. You walk, it comes out the wall. You know it's kind of coming, and you know it's not going to move off the wall. It's not going to be a scare actor. It's not going to improv. It's not going to jump in front of you. It's not going to do something that you have never seen before. It's just going to thrash its head around, and that's it. It's cool, but it's a one-trick pony. It's been done. American Wealth in London, everything was the same, bar they took the best scare out of the maze, which was Jack in the transformation scene. He used to come out the bathroom, scare you there and scare you around the other side. Wasn't there. They put a couple of, I think they changed the Nazi zombies and threw alive, what's it called? Oh, I forgot what it's called in there, but and then they put Wolf in the Trafalgar Square scene or Piccadilly Circus scene. and it just felt flat. It just wasn't as good as 2 years ago, and maybe they would have left it 7 years and brought it back. Too many dead rooms. That was one of the complaints a few years back. The pub scene, no actors. The next scene you walk past and there's a graveyard. The next scene is a guy getting attacked by a wolf. There's no scare. You walk through again and there's a wolf on the wall. So there's no actor attempting to scare you at any point for the first third of the house. So yeah, American Werewolf in London. I will openly say that was my worst house this year. American Werewolf in London. I just felt flat. Really felt flat. The wolves look great, yeah, they look great. They're great for a photo opportunity when you're doing Unmasking the Horror tour. Thank God we didn't do it on the tour, they just let us take a picture with the wolf. But yeah, it just felt flat. They need to scrap the puppets for a year. AVP in American Werewolf London twice. It's just too much. The puppets don't really scare anyone, they just look good. So, or if they're going to do it, at least add a puppet and then have someone in a costume or something that can thrash out. I don't know. It was just really flat. It just felt. It was probably the. I don't know how to say this, but it's probably the worst I felt walking through an Halloween Horror Nights house. Even what's it called? Havoc. I hated Havoc the other year, but this really just felt boring. I got a couple of jump scares, but yeah, it just the transformation scene. I've seen it that many times, and then I watch it. And there's nothing there. There's no scare in the room. It's too many scenes that are just there to look at. Transformation scene and the part where he's getting ate by the wolf at the start, and the pub scene. Just too much of nothing going on. Yeah. So that was American Werewolf in London. And they took away the Doctor Who telephone box. Shame on them. The next one after this I will do is, and this may shock some people as what I'm going to probably say, is Asylum in Wonderland. Now, I love the facade. I love how if you do go into the event and you go in again, notice that the cost of it is 25 cents, I think it is. It's issued 25 because it's 25 years of Halloween Horror Nights. It's done in a Tales from the Crypt kind of and Vault of Horror comics, which someone like me, that means a lot. The facade was amazing. The vortex was great. It looked great. It's probably one of the best looking 3D houses we had. But on that note, it just didn't really do anything for me. It wasn't scary. People say it was trippy. I kind of get that a little bit, but it was just like the flowers. They're not scary. They're not even doing anything. Just looking great. The people bouncing on the trampolines. They're behind netting. I found a lot of stuff obviously with behind netting. The room with all the Christmas lights going off. I couldn't really tell he was at the side of me. To be fair, when he was at the fence, I felt a bit sorry for him because he's obviously trying to scare you, but you can't really see that he's there because the lights are flashing that much. The best part of it was, I did get a couple of scares with, I think Alice jumps out, I think, and the end, as the end went on, it went a little bit less 3D, which was the weird part. You had in the mental asylum with Alice there, that was a really good room. I love that. Also, when you go round and you had the Mad Hatter and he's saying how many lumps do you want, if you ask him for 2, I'll give you 2 little bops, if anyone knows that. And also the part where is it Alice gets a throat, does she get a throat slit at the end? Someone gets a throat slit. I remember walking out as the first, and I didn't see it for the first couple of times. I saw it then. It was a good maze in a sense of it looked visually great. Scare wise, not really. Trippy, I get that, but it just wasn't scary. It was just nice to look at. Yeah, that's what I'll put it down as. It was nice to look. It was nice to walk through. Visually stunning. The detail to the floor. The best part about it was when you look in the room where Alice is in the actual mental asylum. If you look up, you can see things from Shrek, obviously, from the waiting room in Shrek, and they're up there, and it actually looks as if it's part of the set, but it's not. It's just there from Shrek, because obviously they have to rip the old theatre out, and that was the waiting room. So that being said, Alice Asylum in Wonderland in 3D, okay house, not the best. Now this is where we get the interesting part. So we've already done Run, American Wealth in London, and Alice in Wonderland. So there's 3 out of 9 houses. The next house I'm going to do, and these have kind of gone in the order of which was my preferences. The Purge, what should we say, Purge versus Scream, the house may have been called, or it should have been called Purge setting Scream. Anyone who walked through will notice some of the scenes, well, a lot of scenes were just Scream. Girl hanging from the tree, the kitchen scene with the popcorn, where obviously Drew Barrymore gets killed. Also, a few other scenes, like you looked at scenes, you had like the kind of things, a scene out of, is it Scream 2 or 3? I always get mixed up. I'm not a massive Scream fan, but the part where they did the play in the theatre. Also, the fact in the garage, now the guy with the chainsaw, anyone knows this is the part where the girl goes into the cat flap and tries getting out, and then he puts the door up and it kills her. That scene is in there. The Purge is what it could be due to the fact of the time restraints. Plus also there's not really too much you can do with the Purge. It's just literally people killing people. Not really any other story other than you've got a few hours with no laws and just do whatever you want and kill people. That said, it was a good maze. I thought it had some good scares, but the intensity was completely different to Run, where it starts off, you get a few scares, and then the next thing it just intensified, and obviously at the end strobe lighting and they're just constantly coming out. I thought it was great. I loved the part that decided to put the plant in the house where the girl joined. She joined right behind me and in front of my brother, and then the next thing she got dragged off and gets killed. And I love little things like that, because all through the maze wasn't amazing. There was nothing kind of particular special about it. Doing little things like kind of shows that they're trying to improve the maze. They're trying to do little things because they know they obviously aren't tied with the fact that it was set as Scream, other than went and vandalised it. I enjoyed the maze. I had nothing really bad to say about it. It was just what it was. It's what I expected it to be, and it didn't really let me down. So yeah, it was a good maze overall. Got some good scares in there, and the intensity levels go up. I will say one thing, and being a scare actor myself, there's sometimes you get given roles and you literally think, okay, no, this might be okay, this role, and it's like a generic role. I call it the victim role. The victim role is where you're playing a victim or a character who's going to give you some exposition dialogue to further the maze and the story, because people might not know what's going on. You get that, it doesn't scare anyone, and about 40 minutes into your first day, you're thinking to yourself, if I'm doing this for another 15 nights, 16 nights or whatever, I'm going to kill myself, because it's boring. It's boring. People just look at you like, okay, and just walk past you, and they have no interest in your character, your role. And I will say, this is the room which was death to the NFFA and the two guys. You had the guy with the AK-47, and you had the other guy who jumped out, but it was just a nothing room, and I really felt for the characters because they were doing a good job. But it's like I say, they're never going to scare anyone. And also the guy as you walk around the corner who has the little hand pistol, they're kind of there to make it seem like it's part of the film where they're going against a corporation. They don't believe it's right, but it doesn't work. It's similar to Aliens vs Predator, when the scientist guy in one of the first scenes was dying and was asking for his help, and you're really not too asked if he dies or not. You're just interested in seeing a predator or an alien. And with the Purge, all I'm interested in is seeing a guy with a mask that I may have seen the Purge trying to kill me with a machete or a gun. I'm not interested in going against the government in a maze. It's not really scary. It's exposition dialogue, as I've said, and yeah, it is what it is. So we've done American Wealth in London was my worst house. We have done Run. We have done Purge, and we did Asylum in Wonderland. So there's 4 hours. So we've got 5 left. Is that right? 5? I'll see. So here's where I'm going to go now. I'm going to go with... Which one do I go with? So let's go again. We've done Run, American Werewolf in London, Asylum in Wonderland, The Purge. I'm going to go with The Walking Dead. Now, the first time I went through this maze, I'm a big Walking Dead fan, in the fact that I will stay up and watch the show in American time, even though I'm in England, so I wait an extra 5 hours. So I wait till like 2 AM in the morning to watch the show. That being said, I'm bored of The Walking Dead at Halloween Horror Nights. I love zombie films. Favourite zombie film is Dawn of the Dead, the original, Romero. So that being said, really, it's kind of doesn't bother me that zombies have come, and that is so bright behind me that you probably can't see my face. But The Walking Dead, man, this was boring. This maze was... The thing I read before, and they're making it taller, not longer. Everything's going to be big. And anyone who knows or goes into mazes or attractions knows that you don't tend to look up, for the simple fact is you'll look up, you'll see lighting, you'll see the end of where it sets out, and it kind of ruins the atmosphere and the perception that you're in somewhere like an haunted maze or somewhere. You kind of look around and go, oh, top of the set, great, I can see some wires, etc. See the rat run. So you never tend to look up. The Walking Dead, what it does to look up, which was kind of strange really. They used the same stuff from the big spot in the last year's house where they made in the scene where you're supposed to be like water was knee high or waist high. That scene was appalling, absolutely appalling. I didn't even know there was in water until I was leaving the room. I took a turn to my right and I seen a guy standing in a tub of water to his knee. It didn't even look like there was in water. The effect was really bad. As the maze went on throughout my run, on Sunday night before I left, it was actually quite good. I got some scares. I don't know if anyone's actually seen, and someone did comment on this, a scare actor, but not in that maze, about me making a video and hanging myself for The Walking Dead. So any people working in The Walking Dead, if you are watching this, it wasn't aimed at you, it was just aimed at The Walking Dead. Don't take it personal. So that being said, The Walking Dead, as I went through on the lights on tour, I appreciate the maze a lot more. I walked through it first, I couldn't gather what the scenes were. It seemed a bit of a mishmash, and then as I went through the lights on top, I was like, that's that. I still don't get the fact that at the end scene with the nice rave music, we're walking into a trailer. That was my thing. While we're walking into the trailer, I don't know. I like the barn scene when I seen it lit up. I kind of got it then when I walked through it in the dark, and that was that. It was what it was. It was The Walking Dead. There was nothing special about it. It was generic. It was the same as previous years, just different scenes. Just had a facelift with some extra props. The scene with Noah, at first when I walked through, I didn't kind of gather what it was. I kind of gather that you're supposed to be inside the revolving doors. A bit like Halloween when you're in the closet, they made it so big, but it didn't kind of work. And yeah, it was. But that part got the best scaring when they come round the side. But yeah, it was. I feel because the house and the actors were doing a good job, but I just felt it was the same bit like American Werewolf in London. But at least they changed the scenery. It just felt what it was. It was just the same things from previous years, but it changed some of the stuff. Just this year we're back in the woods quite a lot. Even the church scene, I thought they could have done the scene inside the church. That would have been a lot better, but obviously no, they just did outside the church and in the woods. So yeah, I mean the one thing they told me about is, which I didn't really hear, is when he's eating the horse, you can hear the noise of an horse getting eaten, or dying, which is a bit twisted, but it was a nice effect. So Walking Dead, good maze in the end. Picked up a lot, like I say, from the first night. I went on Thursday to the Sunday, did it 4 times, and yeah, it was an okay maze. I enjoyed it in the end. The first time I went through was shocking, to be fair, but yeah, good maze. Now this is where the fun begins, because after doing obviously the Walking Dead, we have 3 houses that kind of could be number 2. I even have 4 that could be number 1, and I really can't pick. You flip a coin on any given day. These houses are Freddy vs Jason, Insidious, 25 Years of Monsters of Mayhem, Jack Presents, and Body Collectors. Anyone who's listened to any of my videos will know I'm a massive Body Collectors fan. From the house in 2008 was amazing, absolutely amazing. Scared the living shit out of me. So there's a part at the end, people just watch me get pinned to the wall by 2 of them, basically. Just pin me in. For some reason my head just could not compute that this was not real life. But oh well, that's what you pay money for. So, that being said, here's where we go. So, Jack Presents, 25 Years Monsters of Mayhem. You walk in, the facade is absolutely phenomenal. The smell of being outside, as if you're in a carnival type environment where there's grass, etc. Amazing. The kind of things spinning around, advertising, reminded me of 2007 when Jack refers to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface as the Chainsaw Wizard, etc. And it had the pint-sized killer, and it had Cindy, and a body dead. You walk into Jack's face, you go inside the maze, you've got Pumpkinhead jumps out, the smell is like fresh grass. Red Riding Hood is there with the wolf's head, jumps out great, beautiful looking lady as well, I may add. You go in and you get the bear. The bear's synonymous now with HHN. He come out, he popped his head out in the Goldilocks scene. You go through and it's scene upon scene now. Things like, rather than talk through every single scene, things that stuck out for me that really kind of touched on to me. The caretaker scene, I love that. I also love the fact that at the end of the caretaker scene, you had a picture of the storytelling. Also the fact of, just a little bit about The Walking Dead. Anyone's interested in where Mary Shaw's gravestone is this year, it's in The Walking Dead turned around, so you won't be able to see the name, but you'll be able to notice the massive gravestone in where the church is. So back to 25 Years Monsters of Mayhem. So in the house you have the caretaker scene with the use of the mirrors, great scene. Also, if anyone notices, the pictures in there are taken from Dead Silence, where all the jaws are bigger, because in Dead Silence, if you don't scream, you'll stay alive. If you scream, you're dead. The fact that they kind of mashed Gothic and Winter's Night together was amazing, with the scene where you look over the balcony and you can see the drop. And you obviously had the third window where the gargoyles in, and also you had the Winter's Night, the Weeping Angel as the second middle statue jumping out doing a scare. Also, if you was lucky enough to catch it, you had the massive gargoyle on the stilts come out the curtain at the end. Also, this house, what I loved the fact that they threw in the Universal monsters, and anyone can see behind me, we've got Dracula. Anyone can see I am a massive Universal monsters fan, and the fact that they put that in there, it was just a nod to everyone. Anyone could take bits out of this house and love it. There was something in there for everyone. They tried pleasing everyone, and I think they did. You had the Paluzu out The Exorcist. Absolutely love that fact that they put that in there. They had like the windows, and then they had all the pictures, and then they had the scare actor. You had the ghost behind the opposite wall. You had this up above. You had the which was from Dead End. Then you also have the fact that they put the nightingales in there, and the fact that you saw Jack progress throughout the house. And obviously the one I love is the mirror trick, where it looks like a mirror, but on the other side we've done everything exactly the same as that side, and Jack the Clown pops his head through. Jack was great in this house. The room with all the Jacks at the end, absolutely amazing. The HR Blood and Guts part at the end as well, with the with the Christmas trees, etc. Absolutely love this house. Love the fact as well that they put Eddie on at the end of the maze when you leave, and then they also put in Leave It to Cleaver, even though I'll be honest, the actor who played him, it was a bit like he couldn't be asked. He kind of jumped out at me once and scared me with a chainsaw, even though I knew he was there for some reason, and he stopped and just looked at me and shrugged, as if to say like, what are you doing? So I don't know what that was about. But yeah, the 25 years Monsters and Mayhem house was absolute fan favourite for me. Just loved walking through it, and from a good friend Kane as well, who was in the Forsaken scene. I loved the Forsaken from 21. There was a lot of stuff from 21 as well, which was an amazing year. I think there's a nod as well, realistically, the house to, you know, this is, if you enjoy this house, this is the last time for 2021 when we had a lot of original content. Since then, not so much. One thing I will say is the Havoc Party House, I get it's there because people like Havoc. I just don't like Havoc. I just think it's boring. I just don't really get it too much. It's never done anything for me, and that Party House kind of like, okay. You know, it is what it is. It's not my cup of tea, but if you enjoy Havoc, you know, you enjoy Havoc. At least they put something in there for you. So that being said, HHN 25 Monsters and Mayhem is a joint top. There's 4 houses I cannot pick between, which is mental. Body collectors. Anyone show me a better facade anywhere in the world, and I'll you know, I just don't think you're gonna. The fact you walk around, you see Shady Brook Asylum. It's snowing, it's cold, there's lightning striking in the flashes. The music was absolutely amazing. It was so set into the kind of time period, and it was just great. Walked through, and it just got better and better. The body on the floor. The story was that one night there was the power cut happened, obviously because of the blizzard. There's a knock at the door. The nurse goes and answers the door. She opens the door, and the body collectors are there. And the next thing, everyone sees them coming in, and the body you see on the fire is one of the nurses, and obviously the body collector, when you first walk around, he slits the throat. Another nurse there. Anyone know, as you walk in the first proper room where you see the body on the fireplace, I think it's there, or is it the fact when you see the woman get a throat slit? I've got a picture of it anyway. You'll be able to notice on the shelves near the floor, you have the Indiana Jones fertility statue, a little gold kind of Buddha statue out of Indiana Jones 1. So this statue is the one synonymous where he picks the statue up and a boulder comes after him. So in the body collectors, I saw that and it was pointed out to me as well. So I thought, oh, that's cool, they've just thrown a prop in there. As you go through the house, we get to see the backstory of Jack and Eddie. The scene where you go around and it's like a little prison cell either side. There's a cot with a baby, a little tuft of ginger hair, and another baby in there. So that's Jack and Eddie. So we know now where Jack came from. So he's connected to the body collectors. This is obviously, now we've got a backstory to Jack and where he came from, backstory to Eddie. We'll talk a little bit more about Eddie later on, but as you went through the maze, the body collectors, you had their assistants, and they're the ones in the stray jackets, they're the ones that turned, and they're then kind of luring you into where the body collectors all kind of are. You had the doctor getting killed, he gets stabbed. They also brought back the spine ripping scene, which is absolutely fantastic, and also in the kind of where the old doctors would go and witness an autopsy or some kind of surgery to witness it. It was absolutely amazing. The house, they had the over-the-top scare, which always gets me, and it was just amazing. The scene with the grand body collector in there, if you look up and you'll see parts, you'll see heads and you'll see spines and you'll see a body with no head, and they're creating the body collectors, and it's absolutely amazing house. It's one of my houses where explaining it or watching it on a video doesn't do it justice. You have to go through that house. It's absolutely amazing. One of the things as well some people don't get is there's a person lying down with where the windows are, and they start screaming. And what's it's supposed to be is they've been left outside to die. You know, they're just a patient, and that's all they were. They were just patients left outside, locked out due to the blizzard, and so they're dying of frostbite. So in the house we have the story of Jack and Eddie, basically a little nod, and we also kind of have the origin of the body collectors. Absolutely amazing house, and like I said, the facade when I first saw it, I was like, wow. And that house was intense. The next one, Freddy versus Jason. Wow, this house. I was shocked at how good this was. I thought after recent versus house of Aliens versus Predator, how would this go? It starts off with an amazing facade of Camp Crystal Lake with the cabin, as Jason hiding in the trees. Anyone knows where the tree is where Jason is? There's two of them, but they're hollow, so he hides inside the tree, comes out, does a scare. Go inside the cabin, you'll see things. All the pictures in the cabin, by the way, are all staff from Universal, a lot of them from art and design, etc. and things, so you can see pictures, and that's just their random pictures that they've put in there, so it's kind of cool. So then as you walk through, Jason's obviously jumping out, but the part where you see the kind of shrine to his mother, if anyone's realised that is from the remake, the shrine, the other one, where he does it in the bathtub and he has the head there, etc. In the what you want to call it, the room, you can hear Jason's mum's going, "Go to Elm Street, Jason, and kill them all." And if you listen long enough and take your time, you'll hear the voice change to Freddy, because it's Freddy telling Jason to go to Elm Street, because Freddy wants to get him into his world. So, but the shrine, as I was saying, is out of the remake of Friday the 13th, so a little nod to that, rather than doing the one from the original film, which was where it's in the living room. As you walk along and you go to Elm Street, you got two girls, even though I say girls, they're 18, little girls playing the little girls. Absolutely amazing. And we got it on a cash change, and there were four of them. Absolutely freaked me out. And you've got the Elm Street facade, you got the house, absolutely amazing. You go in and it starts, Freddy's jumping out. You've got the scenes out of the various films where Freddy turns into the TV set. Got Snake Freddy. But what you can't really see in the dark, 'cause it's a really dark house, you see the transitions. Now, you'll see the boiler scene, and as you go through again, you'll see that the boiler, it starts off metal and it turns into trees, the pipes. So they've really gone to town with the detail, which we only saw on the tour. And as you look, there's leaves coming down where the boiler rooms are, and that's where you're going from Freddy's world to Jason's world. Another one, when you walk in and you see Freddy with a Count Crystal Lake t-shirt on, what is Freddy's being the one of the counsellors, obviously, who they all blame the counsellor because he was off having sex, etc. When Jason drowned, and you have the kind of deformed Jason outside. Yeah, I didn't know that scene was underwater, and it was only I realised there was a boat above us, and you see the blue kind of lighting, and you also see kind of when you see the walls, you can see through like ripples of water, and you're supposed to be under the water because that's what the barge part is. Absolutely amazing. Just to throw stuff like that in when you really don't have to. You could have just carried on doing Freddy and Jason normally jumping out. I just love this fact. The fact then is you start getting the battle scenes where, depending on who's winning, you'll see the screens, you'll see the fights between kind of an actor, Freddy, stabbing a Jason, you'll see a Jason battering a Freddy dummy, and then depending on who wins, and when you're walking out, you will see either Freddy come out with a Jason mask on his hand and saying ha ha, or you'll see Jason with Freddy's head. The Freddy's head is a much better prop. And we found that if you do stain screen, Freddy would win at first, and then if later on we just call it lucky that Jason won. amazing house. So it's another house. It was so dark, the mirrors part, and you just didn't know where it was coming from. There was loads of them. It was just one of them houses, absolutely outstanding. So hats off. This year, I think it's harder to talk about the mazes than it is if you go through and experience them. I just thought the scares were amazing, the props were amazing, the facades, these 2 facades, if you want to call it that, were in there, were fantastic. The sets, the scenery, the acting in there, the scare actors were fantastic. And we went on the first Stay and Scream, which is the first run, and it was on point. It was 100 mile an hour in your face, coming at you, constant, and it was fantastic house. So then the next house I'm going to say, and this is probably, I'd say this is my best one, Insidious. So shocked with this house. I wanted to go in it, but it wasn't really the one that was catching my eye when it got revealed. But this house, wow. There's not many houses I will go in where I will walk into a room of the house, and as I'm walking to that room, I'm thinking, I don't want to be in this room because I know what's going to happen because I've done the house so many times. The scares were unreal, and it was coming at you constantly from angles all over the place. There was a time when the Red Demon, when he's in his organ type room, he was following me with his eyes, and he's walking side by side, and as I looked away and I turned around, he was still there, and as I went round the corner, I knew full well he was going to come and get me, but he still just jumped out and got me, and then as I walked round again, he jumped out again. Fantastic. The actors in this house, wow. The scariest house I've been in at Halloween Horror Nights in a long time. And not only did it look great, it was just the actors were so on form, and the scene with the family where the girls killed the family. That girl, I got told, doesn't like men. Obviously, she kept pointing the gun right at me every time I went through. But the woman on the iron, the mother, how she froze, and then she does this weird screaming thing. Wow. From a fellow scare actor to do that, the way she did it was fantastic. But also from a scare actor point of view, actors were so on form all the time. But it's cast A and B, you've got to say, because I went through the house at different various times, and fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I've heard they've added a scare to the end of the maze now, which they did tell us about on the the Unmasking the Horror tour. And it's actually a bit like Halloween. Won't give too much away if you haven't seen it. The other thing though I'll say is the room where people touch you. That's kind of, if anyone's a bit worried with getting touched, it's kind of foam tubes on some motorised device spinning around, so it feels like people are touching you, which was a great, because I've got to be honest and say I was kind of a bit like freaking out as I went through. But the demon, and I know they did a bit of a mashup at the end where all the demons come at you, but it was freaky as hell. The house was absolute freaky. The room where you've got all the bodies with the dust sheets on them, and just like the church chapel thing, I ate them rooms, ate them. Just fantastic, scary, and they just amps it up. And as I talked about before with Run, where it went up and down, this maze just went up, and it knocked it out of the park. It was through the house, you was literally to a point where you think, I could get out of this house and avoid. This is fantastic, absolute fantastic house, and hats off, 10 out of 10, no fault whatsoever. People are going about the facade. The facade was good enough for me. It's a 10 house at the end of the day. Halloween he had last year was great with the things in the window. This was a great house. The facade was great. Kind of went into the maze and it just blew you away. Just the scares in there, the scenery, the setup, absolutely fantastic. So that's my review. So the way I'd do it is I'd probably go bottom, American Werewolf in London. Then I'd probably say, I don't know, Asylum in Wonderland, Run, Purge, Walking Dead, and then you've got a joint second with Body Collectors, Freddy vs Jason, and 25 Years, Monsters of Mayhem, and then you have the Insidious house. Amazing house. So that's my top 9. Scare zones, just briefly, Icon Scare Zone, amazing, absolutely amazing. The sets, the sceneries, the kill scenes, the tales from the crypt keeper being there, just throwing Lady Luck in there, absolutely amazing. Psycho Therapy Scare Zone, the show, which is done by the one in the nurse's outfit, and she's proper tapped. It was so wrong but so right. It's so funny. The scare zone, I love the window. If you're looking where the mummy, crossing the mummy, just on the side with the silhouette where people are getting killed in the window. Great thing, great little thing if you see that. And also just the fact that I kind of love the fact that it was all over the place. There's no dead zones. The Universal Monsters scare zone with, well, the All Night Dying. I love the black and white. The black and white actors were absolutely fantastic. The role, the Invisible Man guy, like Claude Rains, played the role perfectly. The Dr. Frankenstein going, it's alive, it's alive. Fantastic. It was amazing to see it brought to life. See the old scare zone. It was absolutely fantastic. The other thing we'll say is as well is the clowns in the Springfield area. Now there was a clown who was in black and blue with a chainsaw, who kind of knew who it was, which was a bit freaky, and it kind of did really freak me out. And if you watch this video, hats off to you, because you really freaked me out. And if it is you, and I'll put a picture on my Twitter account, send me a message, follow me, send me a message. I'd like to say thanks personally for that, because it was kind of a nice little touch. I really appreciated that. And I won't hang myself in my next video, like you did ask me. And the fact of, I loved the Jack the Clown show. It was what it was. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Reminded me of Cannibal Carnage. I loved the kind of Evil Takes Root. That was a really good scare zone as well. It just, it was just blown away. The scare zones this year, the event was the best it has been in years, if not the best in years. It was the best in years. I'll probably do another more in-depth video. I just wanted to get this out there because it's been a while since I should have done a video. I will be doing another video this week about scare acting, about some people may be interested in knowing what it takes to be a scare actor and what kind of things are expected of you and etc. So leave your comments below, subscribe and like, and follow me on Twitter, and don't forget to follow the Horror Night Updaters and like Sagmasker Films, Crazy Englishman, Dr. McBrown 1. Also, my good friend as well, First Class Horror. Also, we have all the other Horror Night Updaters, and like I say, just check them all out, subscribe and like. And it's too many. It's too late at night. I can't remember. I apologise. So stay tuned.